So am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So I'll be just starting shortly. So I will start today's class, and this will be on plasma membranes. With this, I share my screen. So today's topic is plasma membranes. Now, this topic actually is divided into three parts. On the first part, I will be talking about the fluid mosaic model. The fluid mosaic model. And after when I finish the fluid mosaic model, I'll just leave for say 1 minute or a few seconds. You people stay, and or if you leave, you join by the same link with you, which you joined this. And then I will start with transport across membranes, and then again I will take a 1 minute break, and then we will again talk about the third part of it, that is cell junctions. So this is how this particular class today will progress. So the first part is the fluid mosaic model. So let us see what this fluid mosaic model is. So we know what a plasma membrane is. You know, we had seen in yesterday's class that it is a membrane which binds the complete cell organelles and the cell structures inside. So the first model of acceptable model of plasma membrane is that of the fluid mosaic model. That means the membrane is neither solid nor it is liquid. It is in between. It is a fluid. So and it is also a mosaic. Like you see your floor, a mosaic floor, you see that there are on a white surface, you will see, or a black surface, you will see little colors, little chips which have been smoothed. So you see a color which is, you see lots of spots, lots of little mosaic decorations on top of the floor. So this is what you mean by a mosaic. So it is a mosaic. So you have a sea of lipids which is fluid like, and inside this sea of lipids you have a sea of lipid molecules. You see from here you have the sea of lipid molecules. Let me use the annotate button. So you have the sea of lipids here, and in between you have these protein molecules coming up as mosaics. Then you have glycoprotein molecules staying, and you have extracellular fluid, carbohydrates all present. Then you have certain filaments present, and then you have a very importantly, you have molecules in between. In eukaryotes, they are known as cholesterols. It is this is eukaryotes. In prokaryotes, there is no cholesterol. So it is a mosaic of phospholipids, proteins, and carbohydrates, and this gives the fluid, the membrane, a fluid arrangement. So it is, you can call it as a proteins floating in a sea of lipids. Proteins floating in a sea of lipids. So it was first proposed by Singer and Nicholson in 1972. So it is the main fabric of the membrane. What is the main fabric of the membrane? This is the phospholipid bilayer, which is amphiphilic. Amphiphilic means outer side is hydrophobic and inner side is hydrophobic. Outer side hydrophilic, inner side hydrophobic. So if we see, if I draw an arrow, this is the outer side, right? That is this is also the outer side here. This is hydrophobic. And this is the inner side here. This is hydrophobic. So outer sides are hydrophilic, water loving, and inner sides are water hating. That is hydrophobic. Okay. So if the bilayers are free to move, it's not that they are fixed in one place, they move about, so that this protein can move from here to here. These phospholipids can move from here to here. The phospholipids can move from upper side to the lower side. So it is like a fluid, semi-solid. It is not solid or it is liquid. It is semi-solid. Yet this particular membrane, it holds everything together. It selectively allows molecules to pass through and pass out. For example, organic molecules are allowed to pass through, but inorganic or charged molecules and water, they are not freely allowed to come inside. For them, there are channels. So apart from that, let us go to the this is the particular structure. You have glycoproteins and extracellular fluids, carbohydrates, all attached to this plasma membrane in this fluid mosaic model. So these are the little points which you have to give when they ask you to write about the fluid mosaic model, and you give this picture. Write this in a bit of a details, but this is the essence. So now we see what are the phospholipids. You see these little blue balls with little legs on it. So this is the phospholipid, which is drawn in large. The phospholipids are drawn in large. So this is extended. So what are they? This part is, you can see the top part is the hydrophilic part. That is, it loves water. And the bottom part, this is the tail. It is the hydrophobic part that hates water. So this hydrophobic part is made up of fatty acid chains. The straight is a saturated fatty acid, and a double bond which introduces a bend or a kink. It is an unsaturated fatty acid because it has got a double bond over here. Then these dots are carbon molecules over here. Basically chemical structures. I'm not writing CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2. Instead of that, I'm drawing it like this. And the head, in the head you find a glycerol molecule, CH2OH. This is a glycerol backbone. On the glycerol backbone, these fatty acids, on two of them, fatty acids are attached, and in one, a phosphate group is attached. Apart from on that phosphate group, another group called R is joined. This R can be ethanolamine, it can be serine, it can be inositol, and it can be phosphatidic acid with an H. So there are, so it can be any of these compounds can be in this place of R. So hydrophobic tail is made up of one chain of saturated fatty acid and one chain of unsaturated fatty acids. The saturated unsaturation results in a kink in one of the chains. Okay. So let us look at the organizational nature of the phospholipids. So these phospholipids, they make up the cell membrane. Each phospholipid consists of a phosphate head. This is the phosphate head, and it is linked to, these are the two fatty acid chains they are linked to. So the head is hydrophilic. The head is hydrophilic and interacts with water. And so this is the tail. Tail is hydrophobic. And you can see there is on this side you have one layer, and then you have the second layer. So it is a bilayer. So this is the basic organization of the membrane. So let us go to the next. What are the types of phospholipids which are present? So if you see the types of phospholipids which are present, you have phosphatidic acid, phosphatidyl inositol, ethanolamine, phosphatidyl choline, phosphatidyl serine, phosphatidyl inositol, and other phosphatidyl groups. So this is the bilayer. You can see the bilayer, lipid bilayer. পরে কথা বলছি. This is the lipid bilayer, and you can see that you have other things like sphingomyelin, another lipid which is present. You have other glycolipids which are present. You have phosphatidyl choline. This head has got phosphatidyl choline. In between, you have molecules like cholesterol attached. Then you have phosphatidyl ethanolamine present. You have phosphatidyl inositol present. You have phosphatidyl serine present. So these are the molecules which are present. These are the different types of phospholipids which are present. So in the this is a phospholipid, and on the phospholipid you have either of these chains attached. So we go to the next slide now. It is the membrane asymmetry. So the membrane, this is the outside upper side of the membrane here, and this is the inside of the membrane here. It is asymmetry. For example, on the upper side phospholipid, you have lots of sphingomyelin, but on the side below, you have less sphingomyelin molecules. On the upper side, you have lots of phosphatidyl choline. Inner side, you have less. In the inner side, you have lots of phosphatidyl ethanolamine, but upper side, you have less. Then phosphatidyl serine is only present in the lower side, in the lower membrane layer. In the upper membrane layer, the phospholipid is different. It is. And phosphatidyl inositol more or less equal on both sides. So the membrane is asymmetric. You don't have equal amount of sphingomyelin in both sides, or equal amount of phosphatidyl choline or phosphatidyl ethanolamine equally distributed on both sides. One side you may have more, one side you may have less. So that means it becomes asymmetric. So what is this cholesterol? So this is the structure of cholesterol. Cholesterol, these are the phosphatid. You see, for phospholipids, the phosphatidyl inositol or serine or choline, depending upon what the head is. In between, you have these cholesterol molecules are there. So when the temperature, it maintains the fluidity of the membrane. So if the temperature is very close, what happens? Everything freezes and tries to come close together. But these cholesterol molecules are present in between. They prevent them to come and join together. So the fluid nature is maintained. So they separate, keep these phosphatidyl choline or for this phospholipid molecules separated. But when the temperature is very high, what happens? These phospholipids, they start moving about here and there. So what these molecules do, they prevent, since they are in between, they prevent them from moving about very freely. So they move about a little, but so this is how the fluidity is maintained. Now we talk about the proteins which are present. So you have proteins called integral membrane proteins. These are the two layers. You can see the two layers, the first layer and the second layer. You can see the first layer and the second layer, and the outer side is hydrophobic and hydrophilic, liking water, and inside side is hydrophobic, hating water. So integral membrane proteins are just attached like this. They span throughout the membrane. So they are part like channels, receptors. They are very important, not receptors, for example, membrane channels, pores, membrane, these are very important. And peripheral proteins, they are attached to one side. These are peripheral protein. This is one peripheral protein over here. This is one peripheral protein over here. Apart from that, you have cholesterols in between. So integral proteins are nestled into the phospholipid bilayer and stick out on either end. Integral proteins are helpful for transporting larger molecules like glucose across the cell membrane. They have regions called polar and non-polar regions that correspond with the polarity of the phospholipid bilayer. Okay, then you have peripheral proteins which do not extend across the membranes. They can be attached to the end of the integral proteins and help with transport or communication. Now, let's have a look at aquaporin. This is an integral membrane protein. You see the N-terminal site where the protein begins is known as the N-terminal site. It starts from here. Then inside through the membrane, there are membrane domains. This is the membrane. So it spans inside this membrane. So amino acids over here are hydrophobic because this region is hydrophobic. So hydrophobic, they interact with each other. That is known as hydrophobic bond. And hydrophilic interact with each other. That is called hydrophilic interaction with each other. So if hydrophilic molecule will interact with another hydrophilic molecule, it will like to interact with another hydrophilic molecule. So one hydrophilic molecule likes another hydrophilic molecule and it likes water. One hydrophobic molecule likes another hydrophobic molecule and it likes organic molecules and it hates water. So the moment you put a drop of oil in water, the oil droplets, they coalesce and go to one point. They become into a little circle on top of that water. So they don't mix. So this is because the oil is hydrophobic and of course the water, and when you put salt, the salt dissolves. Salt is hydrophilic. It spreads in water. Salt or any color which you put, which dissolves in the water. So you have these membrane span domains, then you have loops coming out, then you have these amino acids. These are hydrophilic, that is they love water. They love water. The amino acid present in this protein, they like water very much. So because of this, this whole region is hydrophobic. So it will not allow water to pass. But these hydrophilic amino acid, what they do, they pull the water inside. Because this likes water, it pulls the water, and water can only enter through this from this place, this channel. Therefore, aquaporin allows water through certain hydrophilic residues only. And this is how they are organized on the plasma membrane. So we talk about a integral membrane protein here. Next, we have an example of peripheral protein is the FYVE sticky finger proteins. The FYVE zinc finger domain is conserved from yeast to man and is named after 4 proteins that it has been found in FAB1, EOTIP-B. Just know the names, but you know that they are very important in signal transduction in the phosphatidyl inositol 3-phosphate signal transduction pathway. This is a very important PI3P. We will study also signal transduction later, but these peripheral proteins, they don't span throughout the membrane. Example is this 5 sticky finger. So have a look at integral proteins versus peripheral proteins. So these are the integral proteins here. Let's forget about the protein shape. These are protein shapes, but these are integral proteins. And peripheral proteins, you see they are only in one side, on the periphery. Example, enzymes, anchorage, transporters. So they can be the carriers, transporters, enzymes, transporters, receptors, recognition receptors. They can be also integral proteins. They can have all types of functions. Then we talk about membrane carbohydrates. Most important membrane carbohydrates are the blood group A, B, and O. Why some blood group is O? Because the blood group O has got this particular carbohydrate attached on the membrane surface. Blood group A has got these carbohydrates attached. blood group B has got this carbohydrates attached. You can measure like this. So they are very important in saying which is which blood group. So the membrane carbohydrate decides which is whether the blood group is A or B or O. Then we talk about membrane fluidity, which we have talked about it, that you have a liquid crystalline phase and a gel phase at lower temperature. Higher phase temperature, it becomes more liquidy, and at lower temperature, it becomes, they're more close together. They're more frozen together. Therefore, your skin starts to crack in lower temperatures. So the reasons are, these are some of the reasons why they do, because they come close together. But the presence of cholesterol at least keeps some sort of fluidity present over here. So membrane fluidity, if you see membrane fluidity, if you have no cholesterol, increase of temperature, it becomes more fluid and liquidish. If you have cholesterol, it becomes less. You can see with cholesterol, the fluidity is reduced. It doesn't become liquidish. It becomes, but less. It is pulling, but when there is it's lot of high temperature and no cholesterol, you can see more fluid. So the lines, this is how the increasing of fluidity, and so as it increases, you see you have higher amount of fluidity. But when there is cholesterol, it's less. So cholesterol maintains the membrane fluidity. So saturated and unsaturated fatty acids are what make up phosphorylated tails. Saturated fatty acids are chains of carbon atoms that have only single bond between them. As a result, the chains are straight and easy to pack tightly. Unsaturated fats are chains of carbon atoms that have double bonds between some of the carbons. The double bonds create kinks in the chain, making it harder for the chains to pack tightly. So this is also another part of membrane fluidity. So now let us talk about the movement of lipid components in the lipid bilayer. So you see these lipid, they can have lateral movements, that is sideways movements. They can flip-flop. This can go on the top and this can come on the bottom. So this is flip-flop. Or they can rotate. They can rotate. So these are the movements. So enzymes which are responsible are floppase, flippase, and scramblase. All it is given over here. You can read these parts. So you have floppase, you have flippase, which are, and scramblases, which do these sort of movements. Now I'll take a short break, and before I go to the next part. A short break is you people will join with the same link. Okay, I'll be sort of leaving this meeting, but you can stay, or if you leave, then you join with the same link which I had given.